Now that we have successfully uploaded our video to Dropbox, we now need to transfer our points by using this share button over to video, not video, but over to graphical. I'm going to select on data file here. So select on data file, I'm going to say open with. After open with, I'm going to copy my data to graphical. So if you don't see that application there, that means you need to go and get it from the App Store. Now, I want you to notice something. Even though you have this experiment here, it should say the name is going to follow this. So I'll just go back. Notice that the name is still down here. If I select on the name, you'll see that it's still saying Unit Circle D, Unit Circle Brass D Eric. I'll just hit done. And I'm going to open that. We could do it now. We could do analysis here if we need to. We could select on this this bar here if we need to, and choose different graphs if we want to. We can do all of that. Okay, and we could share. We can select and modify this table. We could go down here and select on this little thing here and say instead of lines, we could select points. So I can go here. You can see I can select points down here. I can do the same thing here if I choose to. Appearance, I can say both. So you'll see points and lines there. So now what I really want to do here is I just want to select on this formatter so I can have one graph, two graphs. If I select on one graph, you'll notice that one graph comes up. I could, of course, select on two, just like we had before, three, a meter, or table. I'm going to select on table right now. And table is just going to give me numbers. These numbers are going to be in the CSV format. And so I want to take these numbers and I want to share this with Microsoft Excel. So we're going to open this data file in, and it's just going to say copy to Microsoft Excel. Okay. So now if you don't have Microsoft Excel on your iPad, you need to get it. Okay. You need to sign in to Microsoft Excel, and you're going to have to connect your Microsoft Excel to Dropbox. So let me show you how to do that right now. If it doesn't come in properly the first time, just go back and do it again, and then it will come in right. So we're going to go to Convert and Edit. And under Convert and Edit, you'll notice that there's a Dropbox, a OneDrive here, a OneDrive Personal, Dropbox, SharePoint, iPad, and Add a Place. You most likely don't have Dropbox right now. So go to Add a Place. Once you get to Add a Place, you'll see that you can add Dropbox. So go ahead and add Dropbox. And Excel wants to open up Dropbox, and you just say open, okay? When you say open, it's going to say allow and all of this other good stuff. So basically, we're giving Excel permission to go into our Dropbox. And so you'll see that it's asking for permission. I could do all of this, but I've already done it. So you just make sure you take care of that. Okay. So I want to go back to Microsoft Excel. And then now I'm expecting you guys to have your Dropbox connected to Microsoft Excel at this point. If you need to pause the video, go and do that, and then connect it to this. So now I'm going to go to Convert and Edit. Then I go to Convert and Edit. I want to go to my personal Dropbox here. And under my personal Dropbox, you'll see that I have access to all of the folders that I've previously had access to. And right now, I want to go into physics_brass Eric right there. And you know which folder we're going into. We're going to go into the Unit Circle folder. That's what everything that's dealing with this particular experiment is going. And then we're just going to save it right there. Okay. So now that we have this saved, what we want to do, let's just make this a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on. I'm going to double tap on A, B, C, D, and E. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to see what's happening in these boxes. So I wish I could just wrap all of these boxes at one time, but I can't. I can do this though. I can wrap one at a time, and then it'll open up all of them for me. Let's see if this will wrap. Nope. So you'll see that it's not wrapping this one. You don't really have to worry too much about this. I just want to bring it all in to one screen. So it's so big right now. And I'll just wrap that one. Again, you do not have to do this wrapping stuff, okay? So you can see that I'm just going to center and middle this. You can see that we have video analysis time. We have video analysis, the X position. We have video analysis, the Y. Video analysis is just letting you know where it's coming from. So we know that it's coming from video analysis. I would suggest that you don't delete that. And we also have our velocity here, and that's our X velocity. So if I squish this down a little bit, you'll see that that's the X velocity, and this is the Y velocity. Now, it's only certain portions of this data that we want, and the way we discover the ones that we want, we go back to our theory. So our theory is located. Let's see, it's here. Here it is. So our theory is saying if we want to calculate the sine, the cosine, the cosine, and the tangent function, we need to know, for sine, we need to know y, and we need to know r. For cosine, we need to know x, and we need to know r. And for tan, we need to know y, and we need to know r. So we're looking for the theta angle. This is like our pivot point, and this is where our first piece of tape, and so we're just tracking this all the way around. So let's go back in here. Notice that in that theory, we did not have time. So what I want you to do, I don't want you to delete this column. I don't want you to clear it. I want you to hide it. Because if we need the data later on, we can always unhide and utilize that data. If you delete it, you have to go back and perform the entire experiment again in order to just get the proper data. All right, so you're going to highlight both of those. You can do the same thing here. Again, I do not want you to delete. I do not want you to clear. I want you to hide. All right, so now we have B and C. What we want to do is we want to just grab this handle. There's a handle right here in the middle of the screen. We're just going to grab that handle and pull over. So once we do that, we're going to copy this information. Okay, and since we've copied it, now we're going to go back. Before we go back, let's check to make sure that we're on autosave. So you just go here to this file. So it says file at the top. And you'll see that autosave is on. That's what you want. So I'm just going to go back here and tap on it. Now we're going to use the back button. With the back button, we're going to go ahead and go back to open our files. And I want to go into Dropbox. And then I want to go into the appropriate folder, Brass Eric, Physics Brass Eric, and of course Unit Circle. And you'll notice that we have the Unit Circle Brass D Eric here. I want to utilize this template here. I have Unit Circle, last name, first name. So let me go ahead and pull this open. See, it says last name, first name here. And you'll notice that we have some information. What we want to do is, if you remember the theory is saying that the radius is just x squared plus y squared. So column B is our x, column C is our y, and then the sine function here is just going to be C2, which is y, over F2, which is r. Cosine, if you remember, it's going to be x2 over F2. And it's going to be the same way all the way down. And then we have our tangent function, which I will suggest that you change the name. Tangent function. Okay, and that is going to be C2 over B2. So we're just going to put our data in here. Once we put our data in here, these calculations will be done for us automatically. After that, the sine function versus points will be plotted. Cosine versus points will be plotted. And the tangent function versus points will be plotted. So I'm just going to select B and C, and then I'm going to choose paste. And notice that all of these numbers are calculated for us, which is beautiful. Let's just go down to the bottom. Well, before we go down to the bottom, let's just check the integrity of our data. Notice what's happening. We have our sine function here plotted for us. We have our cosine function plotted for us. And we have our tangent function plotted for us. It's a little bit difficult to see. I'll just pull this open a little bit. Something is happening on the side here, and I'm not quite sure of how to fix that, but it's done. So this is what I'm going to be asking you guys to hand in. The first thing, though, the next thing we want to check is we want to see where does our data stop. This is the data that we just placed in here. Notice that the data goes way down to 145. But our calculations stop at 103. What I want you guys to do is I want you to select on F103. Grab your field handle here. It's not a field handle, but grab your handle, the selection handle, and then drag over like so. And once you do that, we're going to select on field. Now we're going to grab our arrow, our down arrow, and drag down until we get to 145. Oh, not too far. So we're going to stop right here. And you'll notice that the calculations just carried all the way down. Okay? Now, one thing that did not happen was this. This graph did not change. You'll see that you have points here. So if we want to extend or include the new calculations on that graph, we just pull down like so. And then that's it. And then we can do the same thing, and you'll notice our sine function versus points changed. We want to do cosine the same way and tangent the same way. There it is. So all of our graphs have been taken care of. We can just go back, and that is going to automatically save in this particular folder. And so now all we have to do is we just need to go back to Dropbox. See if we can find it. It's right here. And in Dropbox, you'll notice that we have our, our data file here, but we've actually changed this file. So we have our data in there. You'll see that we have our graphs. We want to rename this folder, not folder, but this file, from unit circle to your name, Brass. And I'm typically saying Brass Eric. So let me rename that. So now I have two things in there that's pretty much saying Brass Eric. So it's going to be up to me to figure out which one is which, but that's okay. I know that you have data in one, and I know that you have calculations in another, and I want both of those files in there. That is the end of this portion of the experiment. In fact, that is the end of this experiment. So we need to share this with the Moodle site. So I'm going to say send link as usual, and then I want to copy link. And we're going to go to our Moodle site here. And let's just log in.